Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Pre-Market Pulsescan. Today is Tuesday, August the 22nd, 2017. The time is 7:47, 47 minutes after 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, if you're like me, you probably missed yesterday's special at the GameStop for the Madden 2018 GOAT Edition. But good news, you can download it at the PlayStation Store. So you can get that GOAT Edition. In other news, Google has officially unveiled the latest version of its mobile operating system, Android 8.0. It's called Oreo. It will begin rolling out to Google's own Pixel and Nexus devices in the coming days and weeks, with more devices to follow. That should be interesting. Google is reportedly planning to launch a new Pixel-branded Chromebook laptop later this year. The device should be announced alongside the new Pixel phones, as well as a new, smaller version of the home smart speaker. A group of hackers claim to have entered Sony's PlayStation network. The group, named Our Mind, was able to briefly overtake the company's PlayStation-related Twitter accounts and claimed to have stolen information from PSN users. What a waste of talent. So you can hack, but the best you could do was to break into the PlayStation network. What a waste. Microsoft announced that its voice recognition technology has become better than humans at transcribing conversations. The company achieved a 6.3% error rate back in September and has now come back down below 5.1%, the error rate of a group of people. Well, check this out. How can the machine be greater than the human being that created it? Remember, the flaw of computing, algorithms, the flaw with them is the people that make them. They're limited and finite, just like the people that make them. Okay, they can crunch data faster. That doesn't make it better. All right? That just makes it more efficient, but it's not better. It didn't create itself. All right? The created thing is never better than the creator. I hate when they spin stuff like that, trying to put computing in front of human beings. No matter what a man makes, it doesn't have a soul. It will never have a soul. All right? Man don't make nothing. We don't even make the babies that come out of the mother's womb. All right? That's a process that the Most High put together so that when male and female come together, it produces offspring. Man in and of himself cannot control that. It has nothing to do with that. He did not create those processes. He only tries to manipulate those processes. Manipulation is not the same as creation. Just because you can manipulate something doesn't mean that you can create it. Manipulation does not equal creation. All right? Tesla has become the fourth largest automaker by value in the world. With its $58.8 billion valuation, it sits above both General Motors and Ford in the United States, while only Toyota, Volkswagen, and Daimler are bigger internationally. HTC is permanently cutting the price of its virtual reality headset, the Vive, to $599 in the US and £599 in the UK. The move is a strategic one and comes after Facebook's decision to bring down the price of its own VR headset, the Oculus Rift, to $499 or £387. Spotify executives have reportedly met with U.S. regulators to discuss its upcoming direct listing. It's bypassing a typical IPO and the SEC is looking into the unusual plan. Facebook will launch a dedicated safety check tab in its app over the coming weeks. It will show a continuous stream of bad events happening in the world, from terrorist attacks to extreme weather situations, and show whether your friends are marked as safe. Oh no, not the whole safety thing. Again, everything's under safe. Safe this, safe that. We live in an abominable universe, all right? There is no safety. We live in a fallen universe. Nothing is safe. So let me get this straight. They're going to bombard the world with a continuous stream of bad events happening in the world, but yet they want to filter and censor you if you talk about it. And then label you as fake news. So it's only fake news if they're not doing it, but it's okay if they do it. Interesting. Intel updated its core lineup of processors to the 8th generation. The new chips are still based on the architecture of Kaby Lake, the 7th generation, but boast a 40% speed improvement over the previous models. WhatsApp is reportedly rolling out a new feature to its Snapchat-like status. Much like on Facebook, the new update will allow users to create status updates with text on a colored background. Choose between different fonts and even links. Now that is interesting. But at the end of the day, who gives a darn? We only care if it can make us some money. At the end of the day, that is. With that being said, what is happening in these overnight markets? I can answer that question rather quickly. Are you ready? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely, positively, nada, zilch, zero. Nothing is happening. It is quiet, quiet, quiet. Quiet riot. With the exception of a few things which we will jump into in a moment. Mark Cuban backs former Coinbase employee's $20 million token fund. Very interesting. Let's see here. Ausis debuts a specialized motherboard for cryptocurrency miners. Let's see. Bitcoin's battle over SegWit 2x has begun. And of course, Bitcoin prices dipped below 4,000 to hit a 7-day low. Let's see what else. Bitcoin Cash wins mining power as price falls back below $600. And let's see. Oh, here's another one. ICO scammers steal 500,000 in phony Enigma project pre-sale launch. As much as $500,000 in Ether has been stolen from supporters of the Enigma blockchain project following a security compromise. See, this right here is going to have to stop. At some point, this is going to have to stop, and this is probably going to be the undoing of a lot of these coins, people. It's just unfortunate. Credit Suisse eyes 2018 launch for blockchain loans platform. A group of banks led by Credit Suisse is eyeing the launch of a commercial platform for blockchain-based syndicate loans, according to reports. See, this is how it begins, folks. Central banks are busy putting together their own blockchain. I told you, they're moving fast. Soon, blockchain is going to be everything. Medical records, Department of Motor Vehicles, you name it. The whole government, everything that you know is going to be on a blockchain. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. A Bitcoin law for every state. Interest and animosity greet model U.S. regulation. A bill for unifying state legislation around virtual currency business rules is seeing both interest and hostility, each from unexpected parties. All right, it says a bill for unifying state legislatures. All right, unity. They're building that hive mind, that Borg. I'm telling you, this is setting the beginning stages for that one world currency that will be on a blockchain. I warned you about that in the documentary, The Fed versus the Blockchain. I told you that. If you have not checked out that documentary, you better peep it. The Fed versus the Blockchain, folks. Peep it. And if you haven't done so, you need to check out There Is No Collapse, folks. I go into depth. I break it down for you. Swift's cross-border blockchain trial is moving into its next phase. Swift has completed development work on its first blockchain proof of concept, and 6 global banks are about to put it through its paces. 6 global banks. The central banks are busy, folks. All right, let's see what else. Credit card giant Visa hints at digital asset service plans. Payments multinational Visa may be looking to blockchain as a way to facilitate the transfer of digitized assets, according to a patent filing. Everybody's rushing to get patents. Philippines Central Bank grants first cryptocurrency exchange license. The Central Bank of the Philippines has granted licenses to 2 local Bitcoin exchanges, according to local reports. Why does a Bitcoin exchange need a license from the central bank to operate and do business? Is it because these exchanges may have even been created and backed by the central bank? That's why they have to license it so they can control and regulate it. Folks, I told you, I warned you guys, I told you this was coming. I told you that they were making it so that you don't have a choice but to go through them. Because they're going to push certain exchanges and make them more attractive to everyone to the point where all the other exchanges will be pretty much, regulated out of business. The regulation is the first step, I'm telling you. Then after that, it's going to be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Everyone's going to run to those exchanges anyway because they're going to be better than everybody else. That's how it starts, folks. All right. Hints and rumors how Ripple might really enter China's market. While Ripple has denied any short-term partnerships with Alibaba, a deal between the 2 firms could be in both companies' best interests. So, Ripple, China. You see, you can't make this stuff up, folks. I told you guys who I thought the players at the end of the day were going to be, and I told you that Ripple, love it or hate it, might be one of them. That's why it's listed in the weekly post-wave price triggers. All right, let's see. All right, here's a good one. I'm probably going to say this wrong, the new Pachinko, exploring the economics of initial coin offerings. Why token sales are like the Japanese game of Pachinko, and what that means for the future of the novel fundraising method. So these are the big stories coming out as of today. Now, this is an interesting one right here because I just finished telling you the opposite. But here's one. 10 reasons why central banks will miss the cryptocurrency renaissance. A former central banker outlines 10 reasons why he believes his former employer and other banks like it will fail to adapt to cryptocurrency. And he's dead wrong, and or it could be a hit piece. He could be out there steering you away from the idea that the central banks are going to end up taking over. He doesn't want you to believe that, so he's squashing it, making you think they're weak and stupid and missing the curve and blah, blah, blah. No, it's quite the opposite, folks. Don't buy it. That's pretty much it for now. Let's jump into these overnights and see what's what. All right, as we speak right now, Bitcoin is down to almost 3%, 2.58%, trading at 38.99. All right, that's significant, folks. We're down at least about 600 bucks from the highs. All right, that's significant. So if you bought in at the top, you are hurting right now. Might I suggest something to you? How what's your plan for moving in and out of these markets? Are you approaching cryptocurrencies the same way you approach stocks? If so, prepare to get your face completely ripped off, pulled all the way back to the white meat. The reason being is because cryptos are largely a million times more volatile than equities. All right. Unlike with equities, depending on which equities you purchase, some of them you could buy and hold forever. They don't move that much, while others move a lot. And cryptos move, by and large, a lot. So you have to have a methodology to be able to tame the savage beast. How can you do that if you don't understand the algorithmic forces behind said markets? The markets have changed. All of them are electronic. All of them are moved by algorithmic forces beyond your control. The only way to beat them at their own game is to know what the plan is ahead of time. That's where the pulse waves come in, folks. Had you been a subscriber to the weekly pulse wave price triggers, you would have known where to place your stops, and you would have known where the top would be on an intraday basis and where to get out. Yes, imagine knowing intraday price inflection points 24 hours in advance, sometimes days and weeks in advance. That's right. Pulsewavetrading.com. Moving on to the overnight markets, let's have a peek at what's going on thus far, shall we? Let's see what we can find out here. All right, looking at the Dow futures first. The Dow is up 39 points, trading at 21,731. The Nasdaq 100 is up 23 and 3/4 points at 58.17 and 3/4. E-mini S&P is up 5 points at 24.33. Russell is up 4.8 points at 13.60.20. Nat gas is at $2.98, up about 2 ticks, and gold slipping down almost $6 at 12.90.90. Silver also slipping. It's now below $17. It's trading at 16.99 half. Oil is unchanged, flat at $47.52.5. The strong bond, that's what I'm going to start calling instead of the long bond. The strong bond is down about 15-30 seconds at 155.22 after hitting that 156.07 last night. Beans up $1.75, trading at 9.38. And the euro has slipped, below 118, trading at 118. I'm sorry, at 117.87, down 41 pips. And the dollar is holding steady at 93.43, up 34 pips. So that euro is slipping while the dollar is gaining. I do believe I warned you about that last week. That was something to watch for this week. Are we seeing the possible smashing down of the metals coming as we get to these lofty levels? That is what we're watching for. Take a look for yourself at this silver chart. All right, this is where we are. Let's pull up the daily bar so you can get a little bit better perspective. if this thing will load. It always takes a while to load. There we go. All right, so here you are. All right, got a little blood in the water. You don't want to have too much of that because that's when those central banks come in and try to smash and push the price around. All right, so we're going to need to giddy up here a little bit. Let's look at this intraday chart so you can see the last night's action. All right, this is what it's been looking like. We've come off of yesterday's highs, and here we are. All right, we're just falling, falling, falling. Right here, we danced around the trend line support. Now the market's trying to do something, trying to giddy up, trying to get legs. But I suspect it's going to come back down here and test this before deciding what to do next on an intraday chart. Looking at gold now. Phew, excuse me. Phew. All right, let's see here. Gold dropping in a similar fashion, as you can see. And right now, it's between the two trend lines, the trend line support and the trend line resistance. And I'm suspecting that when the 930 bell rings, that we're going to float around probably near the overnight lows. And we'll see if that support can hold. For gold, it's 1287.30 on the bottom side and 1292.60 on the top side. That's what we are looking for right now. And currently we're at 1291.40. So sideways right now. The good news is that on the intraday basis, we do, although we'd have this this dip coming, we got some rampage too. All right, so that could hold things up for a little bit, get us to that 1300. We'll see, but it's going to have to really battle it out here in order to show us a little something. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, let's take a look at some other data and see what we got going on here. I do suspect that we will have to watch for some rally alerts today. So let's see which ones we got, shall we? All right, so, and again, I like to look at the longer term weekly charts. So let's take a look-see, shall we? All right, right now I'm looking at, we'll start with the rally alerts first, those that are significant. All right, so I have rally alerts for this week so far for Litecoin, Ripple, silver, soybeans, Ethereum. The uranium ETF has a rally alert, which is very, very interesting. That ticker is URA. We have it for GameStop, which should be interesting because EA Sports is dropping Madden this week. And then September the 15th, the NBA 2K18 comes out. And then we also got NBA Live 18 also coming out. And I think that's also September. I have to double check. But yeah, there's some big titles coming out. All right, so let's see what else we got. We got a rally alert in crude oil. We also have one in the AutoZone. AutoZone, as you know, has been in an incredible downtrend. All right, so we got a rally alert in XIV as well, which is interesting. I showed you that last night. Right now, I don't see anything significant. Any bounce we get is going to be setting up for the next leg down in some of these, unfortunately. The reason I say that is because you don't have any two-bar Charlies in some of these rally alerts. There's no two-bar Charlie. Normally what that means is we could be just popping up only to go back down again. Another reason why I say that is because on some of these rally alerts you have locked in negative momentum. All right, you got your 11s are up, okay, in the negative momentum column. So that's usually a death nail to any kind of rally, and it hinders it and makes it difficult long term to sustain a rally. Okay, so that's something to look at and to pay attention to. You don't have any two-bar Charlies here. All right, so from a longer term perspective, on the weekly, I'm just not seeing it in the majority of these rally alerts. And that's the first thing we look for is are there any two-bar Charlies? All right, the first one that comes up would be in the Russell. The Russell has a two-bar Charlie on it, but the market is far removed, so we don't see the manifestation of that two-bar Charlie as of yet. That could change as the week moves on, but as of right now, no. All right, let's see. There's a few more here, but because the markets are far removed at this time, we don't see them manifesting right now. So whatever market action happens today will probably set up a pullback. So we'll just have to watch that. All right, what else of note? Let's see here. This is interesting. The regional banking ETF, KRE, has a rally alert in it. But once again, though, it's in a corrective stage of its bull run, and it's entered into the Kumo cloud during this correction. And we got locked in negative momentum. So once again, I see the rally being short-lived. Steam has a rally alert as well. And we have the British pound with a oversold condition. Dry ships is showing an oversold condition. The euro yen is showing an oversold condition. And the S&P cash index is showing an oversold condition. So the markets are looking interesting. Could we get a bounce from here? Can the British pound get a bounce from here? We'll find out. We will know sure enough. Now, some of these, I call them broken securities at the moment. Because we have both rally and crash alerts. When you get a rally and a crash alert simultaneously like this, the market is in an extreme state of indecision. All right, and or there's something wrong. Like I say, the market's broken. There's something wrong in the price action. And normally you would think, well, if you got them both, then it's like an equilibrium, right? Like a tug of war. Yes and no. Yes, because it's going to break one way or the other. But no, because sometimes what ends up happening is you break, yes, but then you come right back into alignment quickly. And then the market does nothing. So that's why I say it's broken. Normally, if you're going to break, like in a narrow range inside day, you do break. You break nice and hard, and you continue in that direction. But what the algorithms are suggesting for right now, for today, is that some of these securities are quote unquote broken, meaning that even if they do break out, they're probably going to also break down and then end up flat. All right, so no trend, no real true trend to develop from the breaks, if that makes any sense to you. For instance, we have a broken security today in CIE, which is cobalt. All right, so that's showing that it's broken. All right, BITCF is showing some brokenness today. All right, and that's because it's going off board. You can only liquidate positions. You can't put on any new ones. So it's going through its phases of being delisted, basically. Natural gas is broken. Both rally and crash alerts. And we have it in silver, which is very interesting. Silver is showing that it is broken right now. All right, it's broken. You got both rally and crash alerts. Doesn't know what it wants to do. And of course, dry ships. Dry ships has been broken for months. So I understand that one having both rally and crash alerts. Other than that, that's all you got. So let's look at the bona fide crash alerts. Let's see. Apple has a crash alert. All right, for today. So does the NASDAQ, ticker NDAQ. Knick-Knack Paddywhack has a crash alert. We have a crash alert for the spot silver as well, which is interesting. U.S. Steel has a crash alert. What else is new? AG has a crash alert. Good old AFG has a crash alert on it. It should be noted that AG is in a locked-in downtrend. It's in a parabolic downtrend. And not only is it in a parabolic downtrend, but then you have a crash alert on top of that. Wow. Not good if you're a bull. NVIDIA, all right, is showing that it has a crash alert. And it's no longer in a parabolic uptrend. It's just in a strong uptrend. But the downtrend reading is showing locked-in negative momentum at this time. And you have a crash alert, which suggests that the market is not finished pulling back. We still got more correction coming. And that is about it for the crash alerts of note. Well, no, JNUG has it cone. There's quite a few on the list, but I know you see it. So there you have it. As far as what I'm looking at today, it's not a whole lot. I tell you the ones that are still in parabolic uptrends, though, and you're just gonna have to wait and be patient for them. And that's the gold futures. All right, gold futures is showing that it is, locking in right now. So that's something to watch. All right, gold futures. Let's see what else. Apple, believe it or not, is still in a parabolic bullish state. Bitcoin is still in a parabolic bullish state. Let's see. GLD, Litecoin, the Dow futures, Ethereum, and Dash, and the Wisdom Tree Chinese yuan, ticker symbol CYB. It's in a parabolic bullish position right now. So that one will most likely break out today on a continuation pattern. All right, so that's about it. That's about it. Nothing really super interesting, but we got things to work with, so that's a plus. What I'm looking for is to see where the metals may be headed, so I can know what side of the market to focus on. If gold breaks out, it could be good, and it's good for a nice run. I'm really looking, if it can get its act together, I think gold can at least hit 1350 in the short run. So we'll see. But that's what I'm looking at right now. But it has an intraday price inflection point that you need to be aware of that could trigger a downside reversal, a mean one. So watch the intraday price inflection point. All right, because it's going to let you know where the central banks are looking to run stops and possibly smash the price. So just keep your antennas up on the gold futures. And with that being said, do yourself a favor, come on over to pulsewavetrading.com, learn how to trade these markets, learn how to navigate these algorithms, learn how to beat the central banks at their own game. Pulsewavetrading.com, learn what they don't want you to know. And remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. Peace.